I wanted to do was just kind of review all the comments we had. Steve Jacobs had gotten, one of the board directors, had gotten a letter asking him to look into some sort of grandparent pool pass. And he explained what the guy was asking for. And then Rick Farr responded to all of that. And I don't see Rick here. Oh, okay.
He might be working. Is he working tonight probably?
So Rick responded that they'd offered weekly memberships in the past and, you know, things didn't really work out.
Sounds like Rick's writing.
Yeah. So anyway, and then I responded to all of that with Vivian, first of all, responded mentioning that if the weekly pass had been advertised properly, maybe more than 4 or 5 people would have purchased it. So there was that to consider. And then I got into the fact that in previous seasons, going back 3 or 4 years anyway, you could buy a book of passes instead of buying a membership. And my thought was that if we wanted to make any suggestions to Steve's request that we look into this, it would be more along the lines of, pardon me, doing something with a book of passes that you could buy at a slightly reduced rate than the normal daily rate. And that would solve a lot of the issues that both Steve mentioned, Rick had mentioned, that there were issues trying to, if you gave a pass to parents, would have to check on which kids they were bringing and all of that. So if we were going to do anything, the idea of a book of passes would probably be the easiest and most efficient way to attempt that. I did also get information from Nancy and maybe a couple of the other committee members that her interpretation was that, you know, our rates are pretty reasonable now. And the idea of reducing the rates may not be appropriate, even if it was with a book of passes. So she didn't think we should offer any additional discounts. So I wanted to kind of start with that and see what the consensus was among the 4 of us. Is this something we ever look into, or should we just, you know, I'll get back to Steve and say it really isn't something that we think is worth pursuing? So I need to hear some. So I need to hear some feedback. So Tracy, want to start?
Absolutely. I was going to say, I think one of the things that they were having problems with was when we were referring to it as a coupon book, because they said we didn't want to go back in time. And what they had actually, the last thing that they had was a swipe card. So you could load, you know, you could load 10 visits on or whatever you wanted to do. And it was the more you loaded on, the less expensive they got. So, you know, you could load 20 on or whatever and keep reloading your card. And it was very much like a swim membership swipe card that you just did that with. And then at the end of the year, you know, since they're talking about having problems balancing the budget, then it's good until, you know, whatever their fiscal end of the year is. And then after that, it's no longer good. And then you start over next year. So that was what I was going to say is I think that they had problems with the verbiage about coupon books before.
Okay, well, the idea of a swipe card would basically be the same thing without having to print passes and all that other stuff. So that's a good alternative. I guess the question is, do we think we want to have any reduction in the rates for anybody in Ocean Pines? I mean, right now, the rate for Ocean Pines residents, the rate is $12 per day for adults and seven for kids.
I think it's more, if you're not a swim member. I think it's more than 7.
You might,
I thought it was like 10, actually.
see, I thought it was 10 for the adults and 7.
No, I
kids.
7 is really low. It's not that. Because even I balked at taking all 4 of my grandkids in more than one day. Because it was gonna be so costly.
It was, I'm not sure, but I think that it's $10 for kids and
Yeah.
$12 for adults currently. I think that's what they
You're
have.
right. I apologize. You're absolutely
And
right. It's
I
12.
think if you're a swim member, it's 9 for kids and 11 for adults, I think. No, maybe not. I don't know
If
now.
you're a
10 and
swim
8.
member, oh, that's be for their guests.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, the 10 sounds right, but I know that, Nancy had said, from a business perspective, it's not a good decision, because,
Well, they're already getting a discount if they are a swim member.
right. But she said, she thought from a business perspective, it's not a good decision. My feeling is maybe from a business perspective, it's not the best decision. You're not going to lose money on the deal, probably. And more importantly, this is an amenity that serves the HOA, and it's a crowd pleaser. And you can make it only available to association members. We could limit it. You can only buy, I don't know, 2 swipe cards a year or something like that. So people aren't, so you're discouraging people from just, not taking out a swim membership and getting the discount that way, but buying cards and just loading up a bunch of visits. And I think that's what they're concerned about. Like, it'd be cheaper for people
Who don't go a lot.
who don't have a swim membership, and then they load the visits on, and they, it's cheaper for them that way. So maybe you can put some guidelines around some roadblocks, if you will, like you can only order this once a season, and if there's a limitation, or maybe you just make it available to swim members. I don't know, but I think it's a pleaser. It's a nice thing to do for your HOA. And I do think you got enough grandkids, like I have 4, and taking all 4 of them for a day. And then, 2 hours later, they're done. They don't want to, they're done with the pool, maybe 3 hours later. And you're like, wow, that was a lot of money for 3 hours of fun. And now we're going to go spend money on putt-putt. So, I just don't see.
Well,
I think it's a good idea, but I wouldn't ever call it a grandparent card. I'd call it something along the lines of, a vacation card or something like that. So a vacation guest card, something along
Well,
those lines.
and I think the whole question that brought all this up was exactly what you were saying, Vivian, that, a lot of the grandparents and even not grandparents have family coming in for a short period of time. And although they do get the lower rate if they go with a family member, you're not going to get the non-Ocean Pines rate. You're going to get the Ocean Pines resident rate when you go with a grandparent or a parent. I don't think you'd have to worry about whether they were legitimately on your taxes to get the kids cheaper cost or whatever. But I do think that it's important to consider the fact that grandparents and families have people visiting, and it can get expensive to take them to the pool. So this would be a situation, and we could even limit it to, if you have a pool membership, then you can buy this card. so that when family members are here, they can get in a little cheaper. Or you can make it available to only Ocean Pines residents so that they could use it either for themselves or for family members.
But
So-
if they're using it for themselves, that's bypassing becoming a member.
Yes.
And
it
that,
is.
that I don't think
Well,
anybody
one-
else would agree with that.
One
Yeah.
thing that I'm hearing a lot of this year, whoops, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
we can hear you.
Okay. One of the things that I'm hearing a lot of this year is that they've changed the pool membership. So even if you bought a pool membership today, you would pay the full price for it and it would expire, September or whatever the date is that it expires. So there's no other option for people than to buy from, the beginning to the end. So, and there's no, I'm just hearing a lot of people complaining about that because they didn't get right in to buy it in May and it's the same price if you buy it in June or July or August. And there's just not a lot of options or flexibility with that if you're an Ocean Pines, resident or not. So that's, I think, one of the things where that swipe card is coming in to play is that because people who are only here in June, July, August, whatever, don't want to pay the entire amount for a swim membership for half the time. It used to be prorated and it's no longer prorated.
Yeah.
So I guess that's another option we could put out there that if you don't want, if the administration doesn't want to do the swipe card or the passbook, maybe they'd go back and just prorate the regular membership. I mean, that does seem kind of unfair that, if people are only here in July and August, they're paying for the full membership.
Well, aren't you just paying for a summer membership? If you're,
Yeah.
if you're here July and August, I would assume you would just get the summer membership.
Sure, that's the
And then if
option.
you come down the rest of the year, you would pay, that's what I do right now currently. I just do summer.
Right.
And because I'm not here full time. And then during the winter, I just pay the
Right.
going rate,
Yeah.
if I come down.
Right.
Because it's,
Right,
let's
but-
say for a pool's closed, but go ahead, Tracy.
No, what I was saying is the fact that the summer membership runs from May to September. So you get that amount of time. And people who are only here for 2 months don't think that they should have to pay for 4 months worth of summer membership when they're only here for, a month and a half, 2 months, whatever, that there is no prorating available. And it used to be prorated on X date you could get, it was based on the number of days left in the swim membership. And now it's just a full price. And, I don't remember how much off the top of my head, how much a swim summer membership is. Does anybody remember?
Let's see.
I can look it up.
I think it's like 200 something.
I thought it was 230.
Yeah, I think it's around 230 because I get that in the parking and at the beach
Yeah.
club for the summer. And that's usually another
Is that
100.
for single or family? Individuals?
Single, just single. And my husband doesn't go to the pools. Paying for him not to go.
I don't remember. I was thinking it was in the 300s, but I can't remember.
Yeah, and I don't have any service here, so I
Okay.
can't look at it.
Look up something either.
325 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. I mean, if you're here 2 months and it's 225, I mean, what we usually do is we do the math.
Yeah, we do
and
too.
figure out which is the best buy. Like my oldest daughter, her mom, they'll come down frequently, but it's paying it just individually is better than her getting a membership.
Right.
But she'd have to get out, not a owner membership. I don't know.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. I'm talking about getting it prorated. We're talking about a convenience of a card, swipe card, correct?
Well, we're kind of looking at both of them, I think.
Well, let me say this, okay? We have golf, we have the racket center. What are the other, is there another amenity? They don't do that at golf and they don't do it at the racket center, so I don't see.
Program.
Already.
Yeah, so I don't see why they would do it here. So I think it's spinning the wheels there.
That's true. And another point that I've heard from people is how come Aquatics gets a couples membership,
Yeah,
but nobody else does?
right.
Oh, God, I don't want to bring that up then either.
Yeah.
That will take it away.
And we don't have a summer membership either at rec center. You're either in or you're out.
Serious, you don't have a summer?
That's right.
Oh,
And we have a lot of people, like everywhere else, that are not here all the time.
Right.
oh, yeah.
They come and
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
So it's a tough sell.
So it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are there something like guest passes?
No, but you pay a guest fee for Aquatics.
So that's the
Is
same
there a
thing.
guest fee for brackets
And
and?
I'll tell you what they're doing right now is, one day a week they have, it's Ladies' Day, you can come in for the whole day for $5. And then they have another day that's Men's Day. Same thing, and you can play 3 sports and you can stay there all day.
Like
For
with pickleball?
$5.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
So that's kind of interesting because then we can Aquatics could turn to Racket and say, well, we don't have anything like that. So how come you
Yeah,
get
but
it?
you guys have the couples membership.
Right, then,
Yeah,
no,
so-
no, that's my point. That's my point.
It's not consistent. I think what you're
Right,
saying.
and so
You're correct.
if you're not doing something because the other amenities are gonna say, well, that's not fair because we don't do it. I don't think that's a good enough reason. 'Cause it sounds like they all kind
I
of do
think-
their own thing.
I think Ocean Pines doesn't want to do any more administrative work. That's what I think.
Hmm.
They don't want to do that.
Well, but what we charge for is not out of line with what other pools do. I know my home pool back home, it's very expensive. If I bring, and I'm limited to 3 guests per summer.
Ooh.
That's the max. I mean, it's
That's
about
three-
$25 a
So
person.
that's 3 days.
It would be 3 days, and if I
Three
brought
days,
her,
3
she
days.
would be 25, and mom would be 25.
Yikes.
It's my athletic club. Yeah, because they're just a little bit more stricter and it's more expensive.
I think you definitely have to have limits like that too, like you were talking about.
So let's get back to the main question. Do we think that it's worthwhile looking into some sort of either card that gets loaded with X number of passes or passbook, have one way or the other that's basically the same thing? Do we want to look at recommending one of those 2 options, or do we want to just say rates are low enough that we don't want to do anything? Tracy? Tracy?
Yeah, no, I'm here. Sorry, I am just weighing
Sorry.
that because I still think it'd be nice to offer a little bit of a discount. I get what everybody's saying about our rates are already low enough, but it would be nice for Ocean Pines residents, just as you say, when you're bringing people in, to be able to do something like that, to bring 4 grandchildren in, to bring, 4 members of your family in or something. So, I mean, I can see it both ways. I can. I do think that it would be convenient and nice for a swipe card for a little bit of a discount. One of the things is that you get up more money up front. So if they load 20 of them on, then you're going to get your money up front that you can use, all summer long, as opposed to $12 at a time for an entrance fee. And just a thought.
And then would we put the time limit, May to September like we do now, or would we want to have it for a full year? So that people that have guests coming down over the fall and winter could then use the indoor pool?
Would say.
I would-
I would do it year round.
No?
Oh, I was gonna say yes. Because it's agreeable. They come down like for the holidays, we'll come down, and during the winter, it's only the indoor pool that's available, and we'll go over for a couple hours for Easter bunny swim or something.
Well,
Because it doesn't make a difference.
yeah, but after I just said that, having it set up for a certain amount of time from the date of purchase would make a little more sense to me than just saying, well, if you're buying a summer swipe card, it's only good May to September, and then you buy a winter card and it's good September to May, or something like that.
I think it'd be easier bookkeeping, just say it's good for 1 year, it's not good anymore. And you don't use it, then,
So it's-
then Ocean Pines wins. If you use them all, Ocean Pines breaks the year.
Are you talking about, excuse me, are you talking about now adults and children or just the children?
Well, that's the next topic we have to.
Oh, okay.
So would it be a year from the date you purchase it?
Mhm. That's what I,
That
that's
actually
what I,
makes more
It
administrative.
does
sense.
make sense, except if they're doing, the swim membership is now Meta, which I.
May to September.
Meta.
True.
Well, I
May
mean,
first
for the
September.
year, for the year, is it,
Oh, for the year, it's a year. It's,
from the time you buy it, it's good for 12 months?
yeah, but you have to buy it when you pay your assessment. So when do we pay our assessments? April? So it's April to April.
Oh, it is April to April. My guess is in order to get this through, we'd have to mirror what they're already doing to keep their bookkeeping down, because I think you're right, we have no bookkeeping.
So you buy it in advance. In
You
other
would
words,
buy it in
you know,
advance.
you believe you're gonna have visitors over
Mhm.
the summer and you buy
Buy in
a
advance.
visitor's.
When you
pass.
renew your HOA,
Yeah.
when you pay your HOA and whatever else you pay at that time, I think in order for us to get this through, we would have to be the same model
Yeah.
that they're using. And you would just check the box and add it to your payment.
Yeah, which actually is is easier for everybody.
Uh-huh.
And when people are, for some people, you know, they're, yeah, that sounds good, check. You know, they just check it off while they're,
To me, we couldn't just add a balance to our little swim card. I mean, something, if I did that in April and renewed everything, if I'd add an additional $200 to it, and then I would just use it when they were coming down, they would subtract it off my card. And
Yeah,
then,
and then you wouldn't get any discount.
well, I'm not good. I don't think ours is real expensive, and it doesn't seem to be a barrier to people coming. But I do have a family of 4 grandkids too, and their parents. Well, I bring them in, and it's probably about $80 when I come, if we come for the day.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Right,
but
right.
That's usually not all the time.
I think having it, available during that first month of May or April, and when you pay your assessment with a cutoff date, is gonna make it more appealing to, operations.
To the board.
Right.
I agree.
You know, like,
So you-
it's just like an ongoing
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, because then it's, you know, the administration people are,
Mhm.
they have to be bothered with it and then
Exactly.
the pool can't, why can't I buy it here, you know? So if you want to make it as easy as possible for these guys, right? Yeah, I would do, you know, just like your beach pass, you know, you can't, all of it, you
So you
buy it
could,
in April.
so you could buy it at any time during the year, but it would expire
March 30th.
on March.
No, I think
That's not
we're
what we
saying,
said.
Well,
you
yeah,
buy it in April
And it's good for the year.
and it's good for
Good
1
for
year.
the fiscal year.
You buy in April because you anticipate that you will be having visitors of various types, you know, kids, adults, whatever. And then you haven't used it by the next April, it's too bad on you. You know, but it would certainly be easier on administration that way.
I think you
Tracy?
should be able to buy it anytime you want to throughout the year, because a lot of times you can't anticipate when you're going to have guests, and then they all expire at April. So then your bookkeeping remains okay, but you can purchase them anytime instead of just saying you have to purchase them in April, because what about people who are not here in April? Then you have the same issues with that. So I think any time of the year you can purchase them, they just expire when they end up their term and do their bookkeeping.
Well, you buy it, we're thinking, Tracy, you buy it when you pay your assessment. Like when we pay our assessments, I pay my pool membership, I take out my beach pass thing, and, you know, everything's paid at one time. That's what we're thinking. That, I know what you're saying, people aren't here in April, but they're paying for their assessments by mail.
I do the assessment online, but I pay for my beach and everything, the aqua in person, usually around in May sometime.
So,
I do it two
Okay.
separately.
Okay.
I never thought to do it soon.
Until May 31st. Some people pay in
Oh.
May. It's due May 1st. But
May
some people-
1st.
Some people go.
okay.
So it sounds like we're coming up with the idea that, number one, we're looking at a swipe card that can get loaded with, X number of passes.
Wouldn't it be our membership card?
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we would have to be with the person, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because the whole idea of this, and what I'm thinking, is that I'm gonna go to one of the pools, and I'm gonna take a guest. So I'm gonna give them my pass or my card that's got X number of passes on it. But I would have to be there for them to use it.
I think it's children up to what, 12? And then I think after 12, are they allowed to go to the pool by themselves?
I thought it
But
was, I thought all children, you don't pay until they're 5, and then it's 5 till like 18. I thought 5 to
Yeah.
18 was all the same rate.
I thought you have to accompany the child. I thought I read somewhere that maybe 12 or 14 and to 17, they don't need you there.
I don't know. I mean, I've had on occasion in the past, I've had my daughters come down to the pool without me, but they say my mom or my dad is a member here.
Yeah.
And they've gotten in at the
Right.
association guest rate or whatever it is, the reduced rate. Because
Yeah, I
they're
understand.
children of, and I've had that happen, but I don't know.
I'm talking about if you have your 16-year-old grandson and his friend are visiting you, can you give them the card and they go on their own? I guess it doesn't matter to us. Maybe that just doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not, it's just,
yeah, and I would think that that would make sense if, as long as they are old enough to swim by themselves, whatever that age group is. You give them the card and ride their bike down to the pool.
Yeah.
They get in. The fee is deducted off the card for the 1 or 2 guests. And that's it.
okay. So I'm thinking they would say no replacement cards. If you lose your card, you're stuck.
That's another issue. That's a good question. That's a good point. Good point, because we were lecturable when I got my card last year. Do not lose this card. We protect it.
I
I
mean,
mean, they were serious
Ocean
about it.
Pines can't be liable if you lose your card. How they have to go hunt down if you went to a pool or not?
Well,
But they could deactivate that particular card, give you a new one, and it's all on the computer, how much, what you have on that card. So they would just, it's kind of like a library card. If you lose your library card, we can give you a new one and then transfer that information onto your new one.
Are they gonna reload it at the full thing or, I mean,
they.
are you gonna say I used one?
Well, you
Well,
would be in the
Well,
computer.
all of that's
That would
on
all
the
be on the
computer.
computer.
Yes.
I mean, if
If they're
Unless it's,
precluded,
only if isn't it going to be only if it's connected to your pool membership?
yeah, I think if I understand you, Karen, I think what you're saying is if you have a pool membership, it's on your
Card.
your card and they swipe you in, right?
Mhm.
But if you don't have a pool membership, if you're just a regular, I live in Ocean Pines, here's my money, they don't ask to see your card to ascertain if you really do live in Ocean Pines. So what you're saying is if people who are living in Ocean Pines want to take advantage of this, but they are not pool members, then they're gonna have to start using their card to get their guests in.
Right.
Which,
Do they wanna keep track of it?
yeah, which right now they don't routinely ask for. So let me just say that as a pool member, my card is always in my pool bag, always. That's why,
That's the most efficient way to do it,
Yeah.
as opposed to having a special separate card.
right.
Correct.
So my point is, it comes back to that question, well, do we offer this for pool members or do we offer this for any association member? And if so, then they have to do what we pool members do and always remember to have your card with you. Because right now, they don't.
Yeah, because you have to have the card to get the discounted rate.
Right. But if you're just an association member, they don't ask for any validation of that. They don't ask to see your card
Right, but the passes are only gonna be
on
on
the
the card.
card. Which means that non-pool members also now have to start carrying
Right.
their Ocean Pines card with
Right.
them.
Or they just pay whatever the rate is.
Or they pay the full
Right.
amount.
And that's up to that individual.
So that, special guest rate is gonna be a standalone kind of a thing, you're saying that anybody could purchase when they pay their assessment. That any resident.
Well, that was one of the points of discussion, yes. Do we just limit this to pool members? Or do we open it up to anybody living in Ocean Pines can buy a card with X number of visits on the card,
Which is what they used to do.
which is what they used to do. Yes.
And you used to have two cards, one was adult and one was child.
I honestly, well, I think that, in my opinion, I don't know why we would give adult guests a discount. They already can get our Ocean Pines rate. I think it's more of a, benefit for the children that visit.
But then it's age discrimination. You don't open it up to, and no, it is. If you're not opening it up to everybody, then, you know.
I don't know. I'm
But then you,
rethinking this.
so I'm not.
Because I think what we're saying is that with this, the children's rate, which is currently, from argument's sake, let's say,
Right
it's
now, it's $10.
$10 for a kid. So now we're gonna say it's $8 for a kid. But we're not gonna offer a $2 discount for bringing in your adult children. Or for bringing in an adult guest, only for a child guest. So,
And you're saying
But
that's
that was
not
the whole
fair.
point of
well,
it.
That's-
the whole point of it was they wanted a grandparent
Yeah.
card. But I can see people who don't have grandkids saying, well, that's unfair, you know, how come those, you know. I'm just
I
saying,
know.
because, you know, we went
I
through
hear
the
you.
same thing with, you know, why do we have a kids' night, Wednesday night at the pool, but we can't have a cocktails and sunset night?
But
for
we're still
adults?
working on that. I guess after what you just brought up and thinking about this, I'm actually leaning against not supporting us, even recommending anything. And the reason being is if it's kids, I mean, the best part about our pools is they're open to the public, which is very unique. I've been watching all the social media about posting people from all over the place asking, where's there a public pool in Ocean City? Where is there a pool? I mean, that gets posted almost daily. People want to know. And I never speak up because I'm like, well, I don't know if I want all the public coming over.
Right.
I never answer that question. I'd be full disclosure, but it is unique that we do have it open to the public.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking what it costs to go to the movies, what it costs to do anything. And we're like that. We'll go for 2 hours or something. It might be $24 for them to get in.
Mhm.
But I think Rick touched on something. When they come, they might even come 1 or 2 days a week. And I'm thinking most grandparents, my guess, will not buy this. Whatever we do are not going to be interested in buying it. And if you extend it to the adults, then that's going to be I think, a harder sell to the board. So
Mhm.
my recommendation is just leave it as is. We could think about doing a better discount for kids. I'm not so much on the adult side, but that would, and I am a grandmama for kids.
That might be a good alternative,
You know,
a better alternative, a little bit more of a discount for kids under
10 or so, whatever.
12.
And I know it's age discrimination to charge them less, or not to charge, but I don't know.
Well, movies, it's 12 and under.
Yeah, it is 12.
Right.
And it's just, I'm thinking we're opening up a can of worms on this one. I think, after listening to you and listening to Tracy up there.
I mostly think that we can write up a beautiful proposal and everybody in the Pines likes it, but I don't think the board and the GM are gonna go for it. I just don't. I think, like Nancy said, it's not really a great business
Well,
decision.
and as our discussion has just shown, there's a lot of different ways
Mhm.
it could be
Right.
put together, and it could get very confusing too.
Right, it's very, when it gets complicated, they don't really want to deal with it.
Right.
And then you have the what about me and the what about this?
Well, that's
people-
what I meant when you
Yeah.
said just have it
Because-
available for
because if-
kids.
Because if I can buy a discounted pool card, it's really not fair to my friends in Ocean Pines who purchased the membership.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm thinking. It
Well, that I
really is
agree with you.
undercutting. Because, I mean, if I come down, if I go to the pool, because I usually track it, it's our second summer, how frequently you're using it, and I'm adding up what is much more cost effective. So if I get that membership card, I could use it for myself,
Right.
which I don't think is
And
right.
people will do it.
And that's
They
what
will do
people
it.
used to
People will
do.
definitely do it.
No, I mean, when they used to have the cards,
Mhm.
that's what people did.
They load up the
They
cards
load
at a
up the
discount.
cards. And at the time, the cards were good
Sure.
forever. So I mean, it was a no lose situation. But still, yeah, I could see people saying, well, wait, if I buy a card and I load it up with, 40 visits.
And you know what's nice about our pools too? If you come in as a guest, and you come in, you can go to any pool. You can spend the whole day pool hopping.
Yeah,
Which we've done a couple times.
yeah, we
which
have to,
is very unique.
Mhm.
I don't know of any other
yeah,
pool
Yeah,
group that does it that way.
Right.
Usually it's that pool and you're stuck there.
they're not set up to monitor.
But it's pretty cool the way they do it.
mhm. You just get a receipt. And you can
Yeah.
go.
So it sounds like after going around the world a little bit, we kind of decided,
This again, I'm sure.
It's gonna come up a year from now.
we kind of decided that, at least for the time being, we're not gonna make any recommendation on grandparents' pass or any other type of pass.
I agree.
We all kind of, Tracy? Okay,
I
Tracy.
agree. Sounds good.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so,
But everybody hold on to this. So the next time we talk about it, you remember what we talked about.
yeah, okay. So moving on, the other topic was discussion about some of the pool maintenance that we recommended. And
Somebody just brought that up to me again, by the way. Back to the swimming racket, somebody, a couple of my friends just said that to me. They said, it is abominable. I mean, they really,
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what they said.
I've had the same thing. I hadn't been there till this summer. We went to some of the late night swims.
Uh-huh.
And I was kind of shocked about the condition of that building. Just, I was barely sure.
swimming racket.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's the one that has a little beach next to
Yeah,
it, that
yeah.
one. And it's open late Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night,
Yeah,
I think. I was really shocked about it because it's in bad shape. That whole building's in bad shape. And my sister went into the bathroom and came out, she goes, well, that was interesting. I said, why? She said, it's like a cave in there. You really can't even see where you're walking. But
Oh, that's unsafe.
it's dark, it's very, very dark.
If there's no lighting,
No,
the paint needs to be redone. Now, somebody said that at the last board meeting, it was brought up that they're gonna repaint in the off season.
They said the stalls.
oh,
The stalls only.
That's the only thing that I heard. Might want to go back and
They
revisit
should-
that.
Sounds like they should recommend a renovation. New
Yeah, it's
lighting,
also-
handrails,
Just-
paint
just-
job.
we should tear it down and redo
Just the
Yeah.
fact that they host out of town
Yeah.
teams here,
They do,
they
yeah.
want to do something.
At that one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well, it's-
laughable. That's
And
what
that's
I'm
where the
trying to
swimmings
do.
are.
It's an odd pool too. It's an odd design to that pool.
Yeah,
The way it was built. The pool's odd.
I never go to that pool because
They didn't put steps in the
They-
lower end at all. They had like a portable step. And it was
I know.
fine, it worked.
And also, once you step off the steps, if you're short,
You're in
it's up to here on you. So, you get tired of treading water. So that's why I don't know what those bathrooms look like, because I never go to that pool.
it's a very interesting complex. I was surprised.
And the,
I think
Yeah.
that, the board members should go down as a group and look that place over.
Well, can I make a
It's just
suggestion?
they don't.
Do we get a report from,
no,
I'm sure we do, from the guy who does the manager guy? I think I saw him at the yacht.
Oh,
club
John
the other
Biles.
day.
John Biles.
Maybe,
Yeah.
on what their planned maintenance is for the upcoming 12 months on our aqua facilities.
I think
So we're not always
We're
shooting
not
in the
privy to
dark.
that.
he tells, the big plans are identified at budget time, because it's in the budget.
Okay.
But I've never heard him talk specifically about, we'll be renovating a specific, well, no, when they renovated the beach club bathrooms, it did come up during budget, when he was presenting the budget, they had put money aside for that.
and I gotta tell you, I was at the beach club, and the bathrooms there, fabulous.
Well, they're
I
nice.
mean, getting in and out.
It's weird. But
Well,
the
we're-
beach
but-
club, the bathrooms are great.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it was weird, I'm not sure, does the restaurant manage the beach club now? The bathrooms and everything?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know,
I don't know about the
I don't know if they do anything more than just.
Well, that's right. It's not
Yeah.
theirs to
Well,
maintain.
maybe 2 weeks ago, I was there like a Sunday afternoon and there was no attendant, the door was wide open. There was like nobody around and I'm like, this is kind of, because I'm usually there late or early, it's just my schedule. It was just interesting.
I multiple times have not seen the attendant there.
Okay.
And, and actually one time we even went into the parking lot. There was no parking.
Oh, yeah, there
attendant.
was no attendant.
There should be, but I guess somebody got sick and so they don't have any, they don't, we don't budget for backup.
Sure.
But that's why in the past, Ocean Pines association members have pushed for using some kind of swipe card to get in that bathroom. Otherwise, the whole of Ocean City can use that bathroom.
And that's what it was happening. I'm like, and it was,
And that's why they decided to put somebody to sit there.
And and when they're there, they check the cards, but when they're not there, it's like, whatever.
it should be helpful to know what their priorities are, what their plan to address the painting of the stalls or whatever. So that we're not always guessing I feel like sometimes we're guessing in the.
We're always guessing, because we.
Always, because nobody ever gets back to us, ever.
I think it would be great if they could do a walkthrough and see if they can discuss amongst them. They're gonna see what we saw. You know,
So do we want to make a suggestion that the board of directors go through?
they do a walkthrough with Michelle. Sure, why not?
Oh, we will be on a very special list, I think. if we do
Oh,
that.
really?
I just have a feeling, I think that's maybe getting a little,
Down in the operations.
Yeah.
without it,
I think I would just say multiple complaints. Building is not good shape, it's dark, all the things like listed out. These are the complaints we've heard. And we have observed ourselves when going to swim and racket and we propose that, that perhaps a full renovation of the building be discussed or
Is they serve
be
food there?
considered. Yeah, they serve like,
A little bit.
yeah.
And I'm like,
So what I'm thinking is that we write up a proposal suggesting that in addition to the painting in the bathrooms that John mentioned, that they also look into safety handrails, brightening up the light, and basically painting the entire interior of the bathrooms and changing rooms.
The deck needs
Yeah.
touch up too,
repairs.
and the walkway.
Well, yeah. So,
Well, I know that, we said, well, we've already put in charging documents for this and that. And then we don't know what's gonna happen because nobody ever gets back to us. My feeling is if nobody's gonna get back to you to confirm yay or nay, then you just keep putting in the charging document. If it's important enough to the association members that they've come to the Aquatics committee.
And we can say we've moved forward with them, we're just.
Yeah.
It's,
We've informed. I mean, what else can you do if people don't get back to you? If your liaison doesn't get back to you?
so the consensus is we're gonna send a charging document for maintenance at Swim and Racket. And then we're gonna list,
To include,
each of the items, which would be painting and renovating all of the bathrooms. And I don't know whether to call it bathroom or changing room, I guess.
I think
Changing room.
changing room / bathrooms or restroom, toilets,
Okay.
whatever. And I haven't actually seen them. I didn't dare go in after she came back.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to fall. I'm very apprehensive
Did
about
you see
falling.
the photos?
Yes, I did see those. Okay, that was helpful.
So we're gonna list all the items that we've been told about, which would include painting, the doors sticking on some of the stalls,
Better lights.
lighting. I had one or two people tell me that the floor gets slippery, but I'm not sure that that's something they're gonna look into. The decking needs attention.
what's wrong with the decking?
Feeling.
Deck is peeling.
Yeah,
Is the deck painted?
Yeah, pages come,
Yeah,
or has come up.
yeah, and there's areas where some of the boards are slightly
It needs, it
uneven.
needs an inspection, yeah.
Um,
And the
then-
walkway.
And then the walkway.
Okay, so I have handrails, in the restrooms and in the shower, is there showers in the
Yeah.
shower area? Improved lighting in the bathroom, whatever they call it, bathroom changing rooms, locker room. Painting and renovations. Entire interior of the whole, all or just the bathrooms, like, I'm sorry, we threw out a
I think
bunch.
it's the bathrooms. I think it's.
Primarily, I mean, the whole, as you said, the entire building could use.
Is that the original bath house or the original
think it is.
pool house?
Yeah.
It just seems like
We
it.
bought in 2005, that's the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deck is
We bought in
peeling,
2000.
the walkway, doors sticking on some stalls, slippery flooring in the changing rooms, and boards uneven. Where's boards?
And deck boards.
Deck boards. Deck board.
I wonder if it's in the strategic plan to do anything with that building.
The strategic
Because
planning committee
you're on
has
strategic.
made a suggestion that the survey showed that people would like that whole area to be upgraded. But I'm not sure if that's really gonna hold any water. But I think us sending a charging document might go a little bit further. Now, we're also probably going to get told that this is the purview of, Public Works.
Okay,
But,
that's fine. That's fine.
but according as we went last meeting, this is something we're supposed to be looking at.
We're passing on the comments of
Yeah.
the people.
And
who
nobody
mentioned
got back to us and said otherwise. so-
Okay, look forward to hearing from Public Works. Oh, that's that other guy.
Yeah, I mean, Nancy had made a recommendation that we contact Public Works and find out what's in the, what's in the planning. But my feeling is that's beyond our scope.
Yeah. I'm
I
not
think
sure
we just do, this is what we've observed, this is what we were told, and here it is on our charging document. Do with it what you will.
Yeah.
And maybe get back to us.
A comment would be nice.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would be lovely to hear back.
So that when somebody asks us again, we can say, well, in our minutes, we can reflect the fact that we heard back and they're gonna start painting in October or whatever they're doing. It would be helpful to be able to have some kind of.
Who's our liaison?
The liaison is still Rick, as far as I know. I know that they were having a meeting to reconfigure who was doing what. I don't know if that's come out yet. So we might wind up with a new one, or we might still be with Rick. So who wants to send me?
Not me. I did last time and we got
I mean,
thrown
I
out of the
can
water.
send you the
I
minutes,
think
and
we've
then you
got-
can pull it right from the
Yeah, I think
minutes.
we've got enough different things. Why
Yeah.
don't you send me the minutes? If anybody else has any thoughts after we leave today, send them to me, and then I will do a draft of a charging document and get it out to everybody, so everybody can agree to it. And I think the timing of this is right, because very shortly, we're gonna be coming up on the budget process, and we will have this for that. Okay, Tracy, any comments?
Nope, I think all that sounds perfect.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Just, I can find out who our liaison. Ask.
Wouldn't they let us know if they changed?
They would, but I
Maybe.
don't know if they've.
You know, I don't think they've had that conversation yet, only because I spoke to my brother this morning. And although he didn't, I didn't bring it up, but he also didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Like usually, I think he would have said, oh, by the way, I got such and such committee this time.
Is he on the board?
Yeah,
that's.
Steve Jacobs.
Okay, he's the one who submitted.
Um,
I think they're dealing with other things like missing money at the golf.
I know. That's crazy.
Having a event, I'm like, oh my God, I think this happened once before at least.
yeah,
It did under the other vendor.
So my guess is the board's a little.
They caught it right away, which is good.
which is very good.
Because I'm sure that guy always pays his bills, and the guy was saying, and the vendor was saying, you didn't pay the bill. He probably was like, why?
Well, they had, yeah, part of the account guy could see that the deposits were all,
Something wasn't adding up.
because, they were really good accounting guy. Remember he presented,
There's no, I don't think it's that.
just seems like, well, it's the whole chain, so he's gotta be good.
So the last question I have is, since we're gonna do the charging document for swim and racket, do we also want to do anything for the beach club? Or are we gonna let that slide for right now? Because we've done a couple of them for the beach club. And although they've improved the interior of the restaurant, they haven't done anything on the exterior of that building. They did put in a cement sidewalk, although the sand,
Sure.
is still being washed into the sidewalk and over the sidewalk. There was a lifeguard using broom to sweep all the sand off. And if they'd simply put a 1x8 piece of wood along the sidewalk, between the sidewalk and the sand, it would keep all the sand off of it.
But wouldn't that make a lot,
Yeah, AKA, yeah,
It's a tripping hazard.
tripping hazard.
And maybe
I
that's
think
why
now-
they didn't do it.
Now we know why it used to be boards, it used to be decking, because then the sand goes in between. And maybe they shouldn't have done concrete.
yeah.
But
All right, let's not go down that road.
We're not going down that road.
Okay, so
Let's
we're
wait
not,
another decade before we approach that one.
we're not gonna do anything with beach. So, we're gonna try to get together something for a swim and racket.
Mumford seems fine, the yacht club seems. I still don't quite understand why, there was some issue about the swim lanes being open. People got snarky about that last week, but I heard it. You know, they don't like the fact.
They make one lane a swim lane, and later in the afternoon, when the pool gets crowded, people were saying, well, why do you still have a swim lane? But I actually swim in that lane in the afternoon. So when I got into the lane, there were kids in there,
Oh,
and I kind of waited a little bit to see, what they were gonna do. They went, they got out and they went over there wherever.
okay.
And then I started swimming my laps, and then I was taking a breather, and I was just about done. And the lifeguard came over and she said, the kids are starting to play again in the lap lane. Do you want me to say something to them? And I said, no, I'm finished. I've done enough laps. So I think they do it. I think the lifeguard was very cognizant and did a good job. And I think have the lane there, but when it's not in use, if kids want to play there.
And when you get there first thing in the morning, there's
It's two
or
lanes.
3 lanes.
Yeah,
And they start taking them out.
Yeah.
As it gets more.
Yeah,
crowded.
I think it works fine.
yeah. People were saying, what I read also was, they should just take the lane away, in the afternoon because the pool gets crowded. Well, everybody wants to do what they do at the pool.
But I think it's fine. They had a hornet's nest, I think, in the women's room or the men's room. I was just busy going back and forth, trying to get the hornets out.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
Oh, do we know if they're gonna keep the pool, the yacht club open on weekends? Like through mid-September? Have they announced that yet?
I have not personally seen any announcement. They normally try to do that depending on the weather, but I haven't seen anything
Haven't
about
either.
that yet.
I know, but the pups.
They have music. They have
I'm sorry?
music scheduled. They have music scheduled through September. So just FYI, I don't know if that matters or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Thanks, Tracy.
Okay, there's nobody from the public for comments. Our next meeting, we're going back to the second Thursday of every month at 11:30 here. Unless anybody has an issue with that.
I just won't be here for that one. Be away. On the
Okay.
11th.
Something fun?
Yes, I'm going to visit my son in Washington State.
Nice. Good time of year to get out.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay.